Well, hello, and good evening. Are you guys sick of me yet? Are you sick of me or are you sick of me? Well, welcome on in. Hello. And this is more math, I guess, with Audrey. We still haven't come up with a name yet. What's going on? Hopefully everyone is doing well this evening. So go ahead. Hello, Renee. Welcome in. So we're going to be looking at factoring by grouping. And I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't shut everything down. Because that would suck. Hey, Native Ash, how are you? Okay, got everything in here. All right. So we are going to be working on factoring by grouping. So right now we're going to do like a quick little review, which will carry over into the lesson. So we worked on last time looking at the GCF. So my first example, let me kind of zoom in a little bit so everyone can see. So we have negative 144m squared plus 24m. So we need to figure out, that paper is hard to read off of. Okay. Can you see it now? I don't even say the D word. All right. Because I know sometimes I have to zoom in and zoom out. All right. So if anything, we need to figure out what is my greatest common factor. So since both of them are evens, a lot of people generally like to go with twos. So twos could work. So we're going to make ourselves a list. So I'm going to see. You have like negative 12m. All right. So, excuse me. It has been a long day. So if you go with the 12 could work. But is there something else that could work? Okay. So you can go, let me lower this down just a bit. So you could do with the 12, but there is something else that both 144 and 24 have in common. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Okay. Hello, Mary. Thank you so much for the follow. Hello, nursing. Hello, everyone. All right. So negative 12 does kind of work, but there is something else that can work as well, and maybe even work just a little bit better. Okay. So 12 can work, but also couldn't 24 work? Okay, is 144 part of that 24? Can it divide evenly by 24? Okay, now also taking a look, our leading coefficient is negative. So anytime my leading coefficient, how I know this is my leading coefficient? Because it has the highest degree. Anything that gives me the highest exponent, its coefficient will be my leading coefficient. So since it's negative, we can do with our negative 24. But let's look at the variables. We have an m squared and we have an m. So there's two m's here, there's one m there, so there is one m that they have in common. So since we have our negative 24m, all right, now we want to take a look at the remainder. So what we have to do is take our original and divide it by our GCF. So a negative divided by a negative will give me a positive. And then 144 divided by 24 will give me 6. And since I have two m's here, I pull one m out. That means I have one m that remains. Okay. All right. Hey, Nell. Nice to see you. Yes. So now we have a positive 24m. So a positive 24 divided by a negative 24, that will give me negative. So remember, when the signs are different, when you're multiplying and dividing, your answer is always going to be negative. So you have your negative 1m, or you can just say a negative 1. Because we got 1m here, we pulled 1m out, so we don't have any m's left. So my answer, my GCF was that negative 24m. And then I divide the original by that GCF. Okay, you could use 12. But the thing is, when you look inside the parenthesis, you still have room to reduce. Okay, so you always want to go for the least common multiple, okay, or the GCF, the greatest common factor. All right. I have to come back when you get on number 2 because I'm lost. Okay, well, don't leave. I'm about to get on number 2. All right. I'm just about to do it right here, right now. All right, so for the next one, so we have 45x cubed minus 105x plus 15x squared. All right. So most people will say, all right, Audrey, can we put this in standard form from the very beginning? You can. You can do it right here, or you can do it at the end. So if you want, we can put it in standard form, meaning we're starting with my highest degree and we're working it in descending order. So if you want, you can have 45x cubed plus 15x squared minus 105x. All right. So we just put it in descending order when it comes to the exponents. 3, 2, and the 1 is assumed to be there. No problem. Good. I'm glad you like this. Aren't you supposed to distribute? We're factoring. So distribution is the inverse of factoring. Okay, so we're just doing factoring. Because when you distribute, it takes you right back to the beginning. So then it kind of says, well, what was the point of you breaking it down? Right? Cool. All right. So now we have 45, we have 15, and we have 105. What do they have in common? Okay, put in the chat. What do you think they have in common? What would be the greatest number that 45, 15, and 105 have in common? Okay, we have a couple people that are saying 5. All right. Miss King with 15. All right. And yes, there will be an X in there. So I'm going to mixture of 5 X's, some 15s. Can be divided by 5. It can be divided by 5. But is that the greatest common factor? Okay, hello, children of the sun. Welcome back. Okay, hello, Nix. Okay, Leah. Good. Charm G. All right. So if we're taking a look at it, 5 could work, but 15 will be so much better. All right. So if you're not sure what will be our factors, I'm almost done the pages of my factor sheet. So that's why I had to do individual sheets. So if we're looking at like trying to get to hold these factors of it, seeing what can be divisible by. Because if I divide the 45 by 5, I'm going to have 9. If I divide the 15 by 5, I'm going to get 3. And if I divide my 105 by 5, I'm going to get 21. So 9, 3, and 21, they all have a number in common, which is 3, all right? So that's telling me that I have a bigger number than 5. So now let's try our 15. So we have taking our 15 out, and we're also taking an x out. The reason why, we have all 3 terms have an x in common, but the lowest x that they have is just a singular x. So when we do this, let's divide the original by my GCF. So 45 divided by 15, sorry, I got 5 on the brain. Currently writing in my new math note. Oh, awesome. You got it so quickly. You're good. I'm still waiting for mine. I placed my order a couple days ago. I don't think they like Maryland. I think that's what it is. But this is awesome. I'm glad that you got it. Congrats. Feeling all fancy. So 45 divided by 15, that does give me 3. So we have 3 x's in the original. We pulled one out. So that means we have x squared remaining. Drop down the plus sign. All right, good. So 15x squared divided by 15x. What would that give me? Oh, hey, Ebony. Lovely to see you. Welcome back. Hello, Blakely. Okay. C? I think she means x. Okay. Yes, so that does give you 1x. So now we have our minus sign. 105x divided by 15x. What would that give me? Okay. But sometimes I have to look at the keyboard and see like, okay, X is right next to C, so I totally get it. Thank you for clearing up. All right. So 105 X divided by 15. It's not 150, it's 105X. Okay, I got a couple. Good. All right. Nice. Thank you so much. So we have just an X. Okay. Ebony, don't forget. Yeah, so 105 divided by 15. I think you were still dividing by 5 to get that 21. Okay. All right. It's like I'm lost. All right. So did you get the GCF? How we got the 15x? We're not using 5 because 5 wasn't the greatest common. All right. So if I used 5, let me put this in pencil. If I used 5, say if I said 5x, and I go ahead and divide the original by that 5x, Ebony, this will give me 9x squared, okay, plus 5x, okay, minus, no, not 5x, ooh, it's been a long day, sorry, plus 3x, okay, minus 21. So now, inside of this parenthesis, 9, 3, and 21, I still have to break down because they all have a 3 in common. So that means I would have my 5x out here. Then I would write my 3. And then I would have to do 3x squared, okay, plus x minus 7. And then what happens is I have to multiply these two together, which gives me my 15x, and then I would bring everything down because it's all completely factored. Okay? So we're basically, what we were doing in pen was dividing my original by the 15x instead of a 5x. Okay? You'll still get the same answer if you keep going, but then you would have to do an extra step, which will cause a slight confusion. All right? All right, thank you so much. So number divide 15 by every number. Yes, thank you. Thank you for explaining. All right, thank you. All right, good. Okay, this was fun. Yeah, well, guess what? There's still more. There's still more of this insanity called life. All right, so that was GCF. All right, so as promised, we're going to go into what's called grouping. So the reason why it's called grouping, because it basically are grouping numbers together. So one of the things I want to kind of carry over before we get to the whole hum. So think of GCF. So for this next example, I want you to tell me what is my GCF. So I have x squared times x minus 2 plus 3 times x minus 2. Okay, what is my GCF? Oh, thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Hey, Misbehaving, how are you? Okay, biz with Liz. Ooh, kind of question like what kind of biz you're in. And before I get into the full-fledged of grouping, I think I'm going to give you guys a moment to share what you guys do. All right, so taking a look, x squared times x minus 2 plus 3 times x minus 2. For this line, in this line only, what do you think, if you could take a guess, would be my greatest common factor? So I got 1, I got 2. Erase the question marks. Just like, I'm just not sure, woman. That's why I put it there. Okay? But go ahead, give it some guesses. So I'm seeing some x minus 2s. X minus 2s is 6. I was going to say 6. 6. Okay. Couple more people. Go ahead, put it in there. Even if you say, I don't know, I will still accept that as an answer. It's fine. I'm bad at math. And that's okay. Well, hopefully, with more practice, you're not going to be so bad at math and you're never going to say that ever again. Okay? Trust me. You're going to be fine. All right? Okay? All right. So this is what's happening. So when we find the GCF, it's something that they have in common. So the things that I see right here that is exactly the same, is the parentheses. They both have the same parenthesis, that same x minus 2. So this is considered my GCF. So if this is the GCF of this line, I'm going to write it down once. And what remains, basically what is not inside of a parenthesis, I'm going to put them inside their own parenthesis. So that's my x squared and my plus 3. All right? This is the complete factoring of this expression. Okay? So when I say by GCF is usually like what do they have in common? Okay? So it's just going to be, yes, that x squared plus 3. Not plus 3. Yeah, plus 3. Because x squared minus 2, that's your GCF. That's what we collected into one parenthesis. And then what was left over is that x squared plus 3. Okay? So let's try it once more. I'm trying to do this before I dive fully into the grouping. Okay? So for the next one, So we have 5x squared times 7x minus 1 minus 3 times 7x minus 1. Okay. What is my GCF? Okay. Oh, thank you for the gifts. I greatly appreciate it. So we got 1, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, you got 5, you got 6, 7, 8. Give me 2 more. 2 more. 2 more people. 2 more lovelies. 2 more lovelies. There's 1. And there's 2. Good. So what was inside the parentheses? That's going to be my GCF. So 7x minus 1. So what should go inside the second parenthesis? If that 7x minus 1 is my GCF, what's going inside my second parenthesis? Okay. Got 3. Got 4. Have 1. We got 5. Got 6. Got 7. Hello, Henny. Hey, Giorgio. How are you? All right, Ricky, good. All right. So, everything that's not inside a parenthesis, we're going to compile them into one parenthesis. So you have your 5x squared minus 3. All right. Okay. So this is what we're looking for towards the end. Yes, isn't it? Math is universal. It doesn't even matter where you're at. It's basically the same. Now, so before I go into full-blown grouping, I really want to, because there's 40 people in here right now, which is great. And if any of you have, I like to give people an opportunity. If anyone has like a small business that they want to share with the group, if they want people to follow them, go ahead and you could do almost like a follow by follow or whatever they do these things to better support each other. Because so far, the people that I've been dealing with, except for that one, but I haven't heard from that person ever again, has basically been very supportive. I love how you guys support each other. I love how you try to do things. So like if you have like a small business, I don't care what you do as long as it's legal. We don't want to shut it down. But if you do have a small business that you want to share, you can share. If you want to, if people feel okay with like following each other, go ahead and just take this moment to follow each other. I have to say that legal thing because I used to be a high school teacher and I'll be like, all right, guys, do something fun this weekend. Then they come back like completely toasted. And I'm like, Jesus, read a book. Sometimes it get a little crazy. All right. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me. If you want to follow each other, you can follow each other. Why wouldn't it be 7? Okay. So what we're doing, Lucy, is we're actually factoring. We're trying to figure out what two products that if I multiply it will give me my original answer. So we're not multiplying. We're basically doing the opposite of multiplying, or distributing, which is called factoring. Okay, so it's almost like Jeopardy. Like we're trying to find the question that will suit the answer. Do you have any recommendations for a chemistry teacher who teaches on TikTok just like you? Ooh, I might have to look that up. And if not, I'll probably put a bug in someone's ear. to start one. You know, so I will definitely look that up. Let me write your name down just so I can say, yeah, I know somebody, and I can just pass them on to you. Okay. Not a problem. Yeah, because I know chemistry is getting a tad bit tough. Where were you on this test last month? I know, I was too chicken to come on live, and all of a sudden one day I was like, you know what, screw it. Let me just do it and see what happens. Me by myself, and then all of a sudden it just burst. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, well, there's one. There we go. We got Professor TK, the chemist. All right, Giorgio's helping us out. See? This is what I love about you guys. You help each other out. All right. So, we got everything out. We're sharing. We're following each other. We're trying to keep it all kosher. Everything's great. Awesome. Okay. So now, let us jump into full-blown grouping. You want to use grouping, and this is when you have 4 terms. So let's see. I'm going to do basic, and then I'm going to kind of amp it up. You know, just do what I normally do. So we have x cubed plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 6. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Is that just one? Oh, okay. Oh, good. All right. It might be a person I might want to chit chat with. Never know. All right. So now, anytime you have 4 terms, this is what you want to do. You want to, I know this is really mind-blowing, group. Ooh, they were really inventive with the names of some of these things, right? All right. So you just want to group the first 2 terms together. Then you're going to group the last 2 terms together. All right. Do you do online classes for tutoring? I do. And also, what grades do you tutor? I do 7th grade up to adults. So Algebra 1, Algebra 2, geometry, also intermediate algebra, and several other things. Okay. I know, they're really deep down, Giorgio, right? Grouping. So the reason why I had us do the GCF first, and also as a reminder, because that's what you're going to do for each of these parentheses. You're going to find the GCF of each of the parentheses. So this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I love, and I always suggest this to a lot of my students, that when you have problems like this, you always want to kind of cover up one side so you can focus your attention on one of the parentheses. Because sometimes when you see the whole entire thing, you're about to freak out, right? We don't need any freaking outs, okay? So the GCF of this first parenthesis, there's a 1 that's understood to be in front of the x cubed and a 2. So what they have in common is a 1. There's 3 x's here, there's 2 x's there, so they have 2 x's in common. So now we're going to divide my original by the GCF. So the numbers is basically 1 and 2. Not a problem. We had 3 x's. We pulled out 2. That means we have 1 x that remains. Bring down the plus sign. Bring down the 2. Because 2 divided by 1 gives me 2. We have 2 x's. We pulled 2 out. We don't have any x's left. Okay, so let me take a look. X squared for the first pair and 3 for the second. Okay, good. Now, Biz with Liz, if anything inside that parenthesis, make sure you put a plus sign. So it should be x plus 2. All right. So once you're done with that side, then you can cover up. And now you're going to do the same thing, same GCF on this side. So let me change colors here. And let's think. It's a positive number. Since it's starting out as a positive number, that means I'm bringing down the plus sign. So what does 3 and 6 have in common? Good. Yes, covering up each side helps. Thank you. I know, sometimes I get over. The lowest coefficient is 3. We got 3. We got 3. Awesome. Nice. Good. Hey, Lenka. Oh, it's nice to meet you. All right, so it is 3. So since it's a positive 3, like, who said it? I think it was Giorgio that said it, that there's only one x here. Hold on, let me take a look, because I like to give credit when credit's due. Yep, it was Giorgio. There's only x. All right. Nice. Well, thank you. So since we are factoring out the 3, so you want to divide your original by that GCF. So 3x divided by 3 gives me 1x, or just x. And then plus 6 divided by 3, that gives me a plus 2. Okay, so 6 divided by a positive 3 gives me plus 2. So now, when I take this away, what do you notice? There you go. Good. All right. X plus 2's, x plus 2's. The parentheses are the same. Good. We have a common factor. Yes, we do have multiplication, but we're noticing that we have our GCF for this line is that x plus 2, just like the examples that we did up here. See, there was a method to my madness. You know, sometimes I feel like I'll just be making stuff up, but here we are. All right, so let's take the GCF, which is my x plus 2. That's going to be in one parenthesis. And then what lies outside will be inside the other parenthesis. So you could say 1x, or just x squared plus 3. This is the factored form of the original 4-term expression. Okay, how are we feeling? How are we feeling, and what questions do we have? Okay, thank you so much for the follows, everyone. Good. All right. We need more. Don't worry. I got a whole sheet. Good night. I just joined. Okay. Hello, Lisa. Hello, my new friends. Look at you guys. All right. Thank you for explaining it so easy. I try to break it down. I try to break it down as best I can. All right. So let's start off with, I'm going to keep track. All right, let's start off with another one. So Lisa, we are actually doing grouping, and we're just kind of started. So you'll be okay. All right. So we have 3x squared minus 12x. Okay. Minus 5x. I think that's supposed to be 5x squared. No. Nope, we can do that one. Minus 5x plus 20. I just want to make sure. The way my life has been today, I could screw up. And guess what? If I screw up, I'm going to make the corrections, right? Hey, I'm human. I am so human. Okay, what kind of math are we doing? Right now, we're factoring by grouping. So it's like later on Algebra 1, early on Algebra 2. Okay. Looks like intermediate algebra. Yep, basically algebra. Gotta make dinner. Okay, it was a pleasure. Thanks for spreading knowledge and not gatekeeping it. Oh, not a problem. Thank you. Enjoy your dinner. All right, definitely come back whenever you can. This stuff is so fun. Oh, sweet. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So we're going to do, I know, mind-blowing grouping. So we're going to group the first 2 terms, and we're going to group the last 2 terms. All right? So now, after we do that, I'm going to cover up the last 2 parentheses. All right? And just going to focus on just the first parenthesis. And what we're going to do is find the GCF of just this parenthesis. All right? So now, 3x squared minus 12x. So 3 and 12 have what in common? Nice. Oh, people are already mind blank. They're like, we already know what you're about to say, Audrey. Look at y'all, just reading my mind. All right. So then we have 2 x's and we have 1x. So that means we have 1x in common. So for those that said my GCF is 3x, good job. Good job. All right. So now, what goes inside? It's parenthesis. Jesse, what's wrong? I'm seeing no. Oh, okay. I was like, what? What's wrong, Jesse? We do not need panic attacks right now. Okay. Oh, Chris Henson. All right. Hi. All right. So if we, 3x squared divided by 3x. 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. I don't have to put the 1 because x squared, that means there's 2 x's here. If I pull 1 x out, that means I have 1 x left. Then I bring down my minus sign. Then 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. And there was 1x here. We pulled 1x out, so we don't have any x's left. All right, good. All right, oh, thanks for the follows, guys. So that's that side. Now, we're going to cover up this first side. Give you guys some time to write down what you need to write down. All right. So I'm going to cover up the side. And now I need to find the GCF of this side. All right. Hey, Jeanette. All right. But my leading coefficient is negative. So I need to pull the negative out. But negative what? What do they have in common? All right. Giorgio, you're like on fire right now. May you please use some more simplified. Complete, I don't know. Do some simplified positive exponent or factor polynomials complete. Oh, like completing the square? Because we're not doing completing the square tonight. We're just doing grouping. Is that what we're talking about? All right. So lots of -5s. So now we have to be careful. Okay. So we know -5x divided by -5, that would give me 1x. But this is the part where I say we have to be careful. We have a positive 20 being divided by a -5. what do I get as a result? What's 20 divided by -5? There we go. There we go. So we're not subtracting. I think I saw a couple 15s. We're not subtracting. We're dividing. Okay. All right. There we go. Nice. Hey, Sam. All right. So 20 divided by -5. When the signs are opposite, my answer is going to be negative. And in this case, a -4. So now I take this away. What do we notice? What is my GCF? Oh, Joe. I was like, wait till you see the AC method. It might blow your socks off. Might want to marry me. All right. Yes. So inside the parentheses, they're exactly the same. So that is your GCF. So we're going to write that down. We have our x minus 4. And then what goes into the other parenthesis is what remained on the outside, which is our 3x minus 5. So this x minus 4 and the 3x minus 5 is the factors that satisfy our original expression. All right. Oh, good. All right. So now here's another thing, because some people will ask, well, Audrey, does it have to be the GCF first? Could it be the 3x minus 5 first and then the x minus 4? Yes, it can be. Okay. With multiplication, it's interchangeable. All right. Now, addition and subtraction, it does matter. But with multiplication, they're interchangeable. So if you want to say, all right, let me take what's on the outside first and then the GCF after, you can do that. All right. You have some freedom. Does the order matter? I think I just answered that. Why did we do that? What is the purpose? Why did we do what? I'm kind of lost. Hi, Matt. Oh my goodness, take me back. Can I watch this again after you're live? I don't know. I wish there was, because I know my lives go on for an hour, and for me to download an hour video plus, oh dear gracious, especially I think it was Sunday, I was on here for like 3.5 hours. And I gave up. My computer was like, and no. like just no. We're not doing that. Like, no. So it was hilarious. Rearrange the expression grouping. Well, I know because there was basically like terms in here and I could have combined those. But because I'm doing grouping, I just did the whole grouping thing. Okay. Because I know, because there's another way that can kind of get you to this a lot better. When you get a chance, can you go back to problem 2 from earlier? It was a trinomial. It was a trinomial. Is it this one? With the 45x cubed minus 105x plus 15x squared. So you could stop here at the 15x. I was just showing, just in case, I'm going to put the word or there, just in case you said the GCF was 5x instead of 15x, this is what you would have to do if you just stopped at 5x. Okay, so you can just go with that first part. Okay, perfect. Yep. Trinomial. Tri meaning 3. 3 terms in one expression. Do you tutor for 5th graders and up? I do 7th graders and up. So I do Algebra 1. But if you do need a 5th grade tutor, I have friends that are very close to me that are just phenomenal. So if you want, you can just either go to my website, which is in the profile, and just send me your information. You can do it that way, or you can just message me, okay? Because I know this is the season that a lot of people are looking at. I'm in Maryland. Okay, just want to make sure mentally I have the right to protect. Protect what? What was doing? Okay, I'm taking Algebra 2 honors and Geometry honors in the same year. Oh, have fun, Matt. Have fun. Why are you doing that? Are you trying to graduate early? Are we factoring? Yes, we are. Can you explain a polynomial? Okay, thank you. All right, so let me go into another example of grouping. Okay, I'm almost out of pages, so I have to do it like this. So here we go. Example. So we have 35x squared minus 40x plus 21x minus 24. Okay, that should be right there. Okay. It's because my teacher recommended for me due to me having A's in Algebra 1 honors. Okay. All right. It's kind of like two different brains stimulations when you really think about that. Doing Algebra 2 and Geometry. Because it's true that there are some people that are really good with geometry or they're really good with algebra. I'm not saying that they can't do it, but it's like hitting on different parts of your brains. So, all right. I think I got everybody. Did I skip anybody's message? I'm trying not to. All right. Oh, here's one. Do you upload your lives on YouTube? I try to. If anything, I've been doing a lot of shorts, so it just kind of gets right to it. And I do have a YouTube channel. Thank you for reminding me. It's ACG Math Tutoring. Again, you can get that if you go to the bio in my profile. Profile in my bio, something like that. All right. I think I got everyone. Do you have YouTube? Yes, I do. Okay. All right. Trying to give you guys a little time before I interject. Play around with it. Play around with it. Let's see what you guys can get. Don't put your answers up just yet. Just hold on. I know you're like chomping at the bit, like, I want to put it up. Okay, about to share out in 1 minute. Show me what you got. And if you're not sure, just write down what you have. Because, that's the whole point. We're learning from each other. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay, are we reducing? If you can reduce it, that would be wonderful. Well, ultimately, we're trying to get our factors. All right. So let me see what you got. Go ahead and put up. Let me see what you have. And if you're just like, I got lost in the sauce and you got a question mark, go ahead and put the question mark. Okay? I'd rather you put something down than nothing at all. All right? Because we're all going to learn it together. So it's going to be perfectly fine. All right? Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. I love it. All right? And I was like, I know it's probably like the larger numbers kind of got to you a little bit. All right, but that's okay. All right, Mohit, got it. This factoring by grouping, yes, it is. Your mom is in NYC. All right, T Unique, hello. Okay, just joined. Are we factoring in? Yes, we're factoring by grouping. All right. So we got Erica that's giving us a little bit of a lead. All right. Before the lesson, I was, during the lesson, I'm cool. Nice. Excellent. All right. Hi, Mimi. All right. This is awesome. Okay. So let me walk you through. So since we're doing grouping, we're going to group the first two. Then we're going to group the last two. Hence, that's why it's called grouping. All right. So after we group, I like to cover up the last two so I can just focus my attention on the first two parentheses. So now I need to find the GCF of this parenthesis. So 35 and 40. What is the greatest common factor? Okay. Okay. So the greatest common factor that 35 and 40 has, it won't be 7, but it's actually going to be, yes, there we go. So we got our 5s. So now I have 2 x's and I have 1 x. So how many x's in common? Okay, there you go, Okra. Thank you. All right, Lisa, there we go. All right, Giorgio, yes. All right, so we're going to factor out. So we're pulling out 1x. So my GCF of this parenthesis is going to be 5x. All right, good. So now we need to divide our original by that GCF. So I think I saw it. We can't see what? I don't want to show the whole thing. I only want to show this one parenthesis. I'm only doing that one at a time. Okay. So, okay. Must have did something. All right. So now we got 35x squared divided by 5x. So 35 divided by 5, that gives me my 7. We have 2 x's. We factor out 1. We have 1x left over. Now, we have a negative 40x. So a negative 40 divided by 5 gives me a negative 8. We have 1x. We factor out 1x. We don't have any x's left. Are we good with this? All right, not a problem, Sarah. Not a problem. Okay, so now that's done. Okay, so now we're going to do that same process, but we're going to do it for the other side. So before I cover it, make sure everybody got this. This is from the first. Okay. All right, no problem, Boston. I appreciate you. All right, appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm going to cover up this side so it's not so intimidating. And we're just going to focus just on the right side. So my 21x minus 24. All right, so The 21 is a positive number, so I'm bringing down the plus sign. So now I have to think, what number does 21 and 24 have in common? So 21 and 24. Okay, so I'm seeing threes, I'm seeing threes, I'm seeing threes, I'm seeing threes, I'm seeing threes. All right, so if I factor out a 3, okay, and then notice it's not a 3x because that 24 does not have an x, right? So now divide, and a lot of you guys are saying it. Awesome. 21x divided by 3 gives me 7x. All right. And a negative 24 divided by 3 gives me a negative 8. We're okay? All right, good. So now, let me take away my paper. So now, let me shrink it just a tad bit. All right, what do you notice? What will be my GCF just for this line alone? Okay. No code CEO, yes. Okay. Thanks for the follow, guys. Lisa, yes. I am Amy, yes. Serena, yes. Okay. Nia Soulful, welcome in. Robert, welcome in. All right. Thank you for the follows. So inside the parentheses, that's your GCF for this line. So we're going to pull that down. So our 7x minus 8, that's our GCF. And then what remains will be in the other parenthesis, which is 5x plus 3. There's my 5x, there's my plus 3, and that goes inside of that parenthesis. All right, how are we feeling? How are we doing? Are we celebrating ourselves? Are we like, ooh, I think I did it? Can you teach me about quadratics? What do you want to know about quadratics, Sir Alex? Or Madam Alex? I don't know. Give me anything. All right, I love it. Shining Star, why are we overwhelmed? Is it because you haven't seen this in forever and all of a sudden I'm asking for too much? Would you be doing the AC method tonight as well? I'm going to try to. I want to do at least one more grouping. What do you mean by can you substitute that? Talk to me, Lisa, about that. Can you group the terms any way you want, or do you have to go in order? Well, once you get to this line here, you could go 5x plus 3 first, and then your 7x minus 8 after. You could switch these two. That's fine because this is multiplication. Okay? But since we've been talking about GCF, I usually just like to put the GCF first and then whatever follows after. All right. Putting the X's together and numbers. Once they are at the final answer, you're not combining. You're not doing foiling. You're not, what do you call it? You're not distributing. Because when you distribute, you're just basically going back to the original equation. So if they say factor, once you get your two parentheses, stop. Like, just stop. Okay, that's where you stop. Because I know we're so like, oh, well, let me do that. No. When you're factoring, you're basically getting your original and you're getting your two parentheses. But if they say distribute, they're usually going to give you the two parentheses and you have to do that. Okay, perfect. Shining Star, I'm not asking for too much. Just looking at this problem makes me overwhelmed. Okay. I know. And my whole thing is it probably was the experience. And I'm so sorry. I mean, I wish you had, like, I'm here, but I think I'm late. Leanne! Can you put the answer in the graph? What do you mean in the graph? We're factoring, my dear. Okay, what do you mean by in the graph? Hey, this isn't my strong suit. No problem. The fact that you're trying, that's what I love about this group. You guys come in and you try and you give it your best. That's all I ever wanted, you know? And if we can feel comfortable with us doing math, and if you guys have kids or if you're young people yourselves, and then all of a sudden when your child comes to you and you're able to help them with that math, which a lot of teachers assume that you guys are going to be able to do, now you can feel empowered and not be fearful. And I hate to say it, kind of pass that math phobia on to your kids. You don't think you are doing it, but you are. But how powerful would you feel when your child comes up to you and try to do a factoring and you're like, oh, let me show you. And you just whip it out and you just do all this stuff and they're like, wow, how empowering is that? I just want to make sure I did not skip anyone. And that's fine. Like, I don't want it to be your strong suit. We're not doing graph. Okay, no. That would feel great. Yes, right? Do you do AP Calculus Lives as well? I do not, and why? I really don't. That is not my jam, but if you need a AP Calc tutor, I got a guy. He's awesome. I mean, he's just as patient as I am. So if you need someone that's patient, has like a bit of sense of humor, yeah, I got a guy for you. Do you teach Algebra 2? I do. I love Algebra 2. That's my jam. Just understanding this problem makes me think I'm a mathematician. Damn right. This is so helpful. I'm helping my son through algebra right now, and my memory is rusty. Not a problem, Erica. Because if anything, I also have a course that I do a lot. It's like 107 videos for like Algebra 1. If you're ever interested in it, and I'm breaking it, you know how I break things down here. I do the same exact thing inside the course. And plus it gives you some practice problems. And as well as you can always fast forward, rewind, and it gives you exit tickets as well and some quizzes. So let me know if you need that. I know, I feel like I'm a one-stop shop person. Yeah, because this is why I stay up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing all this stuff to help students and help people out. I like people to feel empowered, and this is what I do. All right, well, let's take our empowered selves and put it right back into this. So let's do 2 more. I think we got 2 more in us. And then I'm going to maybe, I don't know if I should do AC method. You know what I mean? I need a tutor for 9th grade math. Got you. Go ahead and message me. Not a problem. I'm open 7 days a week. I mean, heck, I have a kid that I have to tutor at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Well, he's on the West Coast, but I'm here. So, as my friends say, Audrey, you're just going to sleep when you're dead. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So right now, God's keeping me going. So here we are. All right. So, try to make that a tad bit bigger. All right. 12x squared plus 4x minus 10x minus 35. I'm going to give you some time. See what you can do. All right, so Goddess, definitely check me out. I could do it. Can you give an example when this type of equation could be used? Okay, well, real life, give me a moment to think about that. Okay, I need a tutor for college math, like linear equations. Yes, Angel, I can help you. Let me know. Again, just tap on my profile pic, go to my website, and there's like a contact me page. You can just click on that, just fill out the information, and we'll take it there. Also, I am starting to build up for people that need ASVAB. I'm starting to get a couple people that want to join in my study group. There's like slowly but surely a study group coming up for ASVAB as well as GED. Those are the two ones that are starting to be popular. If you're interested in that, again, go to my website because I finally zhuzhed it up. And there's a page that's just for TikTokers. You click on that, fill in the form, and then I'll contact you and we'll just take it from there. All right? Aw. What's the oldest you've tutored? I tutor adults, especially those that are taking intermediate algebra. All three versions of it. Statistics is really not my jam. Sometimes I will ponder through it depending on which state, because certain states do statistics in certain ways, believe it or not. But we're going to try to do it. I just took it. How's everyone? Everyone's doing what? Oh, Furball, how are you? It's been a minute. Yes. Oh, you know, misbehaving. Oh, this is cool. All right. Dude, oh my God, I just learned this last semester. I know, Ken. I know. Bringing it back like hot pants. Okay, I passed above average, surprisingly. Good job. Why do you mean surprisingly? Do you not know how awesome you are? What are you talking about, surprisingly? Psh, whatever. Okay. All right, so I got a couple people. Lisa, you're right there. Now finish it out. Finish it out with your 2 parentheses. What's your GCF from that point on? Okay. Sue, good. You got that first part. Now try to do the second parenthesis, Sue. I was lost for words when I seen it on the test. Yeah, math tends to do that to you. It just takes the breath right out of you. What is this kind of math problem called? This is factoring by grouping. This is factoring by grouping. All right, Erica, I see you. What are the phrases or keywords they use on tests for these kinds of problems? If you're trying to do a search, it's usually factoring by grouping. They definitely use that as a search. Yeah, so they always have like factoring by grouping. Why is my FYP showing me math like, baby? I don't. Maybe God's telling you, God, that. I don't know why, but hey, I'm glad you're here. Appreciate it. Don't cry. But I dozed off because I just had got off work that morning and still managed to tap into help. Yeah, I got it. You just got to do what you got to do. All right. Could we group the 12x squared with the minus 10x instead of the 42. Ooh. It's like, so could we like do a little switcheroo? Guess what, Erica? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Remember that phrase back in the day? All right. Yes, you can. Yep. Yes, you can. So I'm going to leave this up here. I'm going to get some room for us to do that. And I'm going to write the word or. So we have our, I'm going to raise this up after we finish with the other two. Okay. All right. So for the first one, right? She's like, what? I can do that? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So now let's do the first one. And then I'll show you what Erica was talking about. If you said something about math, then that's why, since I talked about this week and now it pops up. I know. Hello, Thrasher. So let's group the first two, then group the last two. So 12 and 42. It's not so easy to get it, but eventually you figure out that the GCF for 12 and 42 was a 6. And then there is 2 x's and there's 1 x, so they definitely had 1 x in common. So now you're going to divide the original by that 6x. So 12 divided by 6 gives me 2. We have 2 x's. We pulled 1 x out, so we pull down an x. Bring down our plus sign. So we have 42x divided by 6x, which gives me a 7. All right, so that takes care of that first parenthesis. Then over here, we have a negative 10. So that means that negative needs to come down. What number does 10 and 35 have in common? That will be a 5. Not a 5x, because 35 doesn't have an x. So we close it up. Divide the original by the negative 5. So negative 10x divided by negative 5, a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So it'll be a 2x. Then negative 35 divided by negative 5, and negative divided by negative is a positive, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. Okay. Shrink that a little bit. So now, inside the parentheses, it's exactly the same. So if you want, you can say 2x plus 7. And then what remains is what was outside the parenthesis, which gives me 6x minus 5. And if you have them flipped, that's perfectly fine because you're still representing multiplication. Okay, one sec. Why did you keep the first x but not the second one? Why did I keep the first x but not the second? Oh, okay, probably right here. So this has 2x, this has 1x. So they all have 1x in common. So I can factor out that 1x. Whereas in this parenthesis, only the 10 had an x. The 35 didn't. So I couldn't pull out an x because they didn't have an x in common. Does that make sense? Who said that? Oh, thank you. I had one sign wrong. Okay. Oh, the first person has 2 x's. Okay. Following, thank you. Thank you for following. Shouldn't it be 2x plus 7 squared? No. because since we're factoring, we're pulling out what the GCF is, the greatest common factor is. Okay, so we're not multiplying these. We're basically saying, all right, what do they have in common? They both have the parentheses in common, and that's what this parenthesis is representing. Okay? All right. Not a problem. Oh, thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm the bum ticketing. I got it. Thanks. All right. Perfect. Okay. Does your ink and blue ink have different meaning? No, it doesn't. Oh, my red ink? No, I just like to change it up because visually it helps you focus more by using different color inks. Okay. Again, GCF means greatest common factor. Michelle, I don't have it. Okay. Well, you're coming in a little on the tail end, so give yourself some grace. For those who are not aware. What's not aware? What's happening? Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Let me see. Okay. At the end. At the end. At the end. What's going on with the 2x plus 7? Okay, at the end. So, since both of the parentheses are the same, that's my GCF. And then what remains outside the parenthesis, that's my other. And this is going to be my final answer. So these are the two products, completely factored, that represents my original form. Okay. Never number it, cancel out to say. Oh, okay. Yes, Audrey for the turtle. All said. Okay. Aw, thank you. All right. So, who mentioned this to me? I'm like, wait, all these names. Someone mentioned it to me. Was it Leanne? Wait a second. No, I want to give credit when credit is due. It was Erica. There you go. Sorry, Erica. Okay, there it is. It was me! All right. So, Erica mentioned something so amazeballs that is there a way, now since both of these terms in the middle are basically like terms, right? That's 42x, that's negative 10x. So I could combine those, but we'll talk about that way next time. But she asked, can she move these two around to make the numbers a little more lenient? And the answer is yes. Yes. If you have a teacher that says, no, you got to do it this way, no. You can do whatever you blessed want. Well, not everything. But for this case, you can switch them around. So if I try to do the grouping, okay, group the first two, group the last two. So now with the grouping, I have 12 and 10s. Notice it's not as painful as trying to figure out 12 and 42, right? So if you have 12 and 10, what do they have in common? They have 2. And since there's 2 x's here and there's 1 x there, we're going to have 1 x in common. So now, if I want to divide 12x squared with 2x, I'm going to get a 6x. Then I have a negative 10x divided by 2x. That gives me a negative 5. Not 5x, just 5. Because we originally have 1x, we pulled out 1x, so we don't have any x's left. So now we have a plus sign. So 42 and 35, what do they have in common? They have a 7 in common. Not a 7x, just a 7, because the 35 doesn't have an x. So when I come here, I got 42 divided by 7, so that gives me my 6x. Negative 35 divided by 7, that gives me a negative 5. What do you notice? Your two parentheses are exactly the same, okay? Yeah, they look a little bit different than these, but wait a second. So if I want, I can say my GCF is going to be the 6x minus 5, okay? Because my parentheses are exactly the same, so I just write it once because it's the GCF of this line. Then the second parenthesis deals with